I never believed in that moment when everything changes. You know, the one where the world tilts on its axis and suddenly you're seeing someone you've known forever in a completely different light. I thought that was movie stuff, romance novel nonsense. But then again, Maya always said she didn't believe in soulmates either, and look where that got us. We met in college, freshman orientation, both of us awkwardly clutching campus maps we pretended to understand. She asked me where Henderson Hall was, and I pointed confidently in the wrong direction. We figured it out together, laughing about it over terrible dining hall coffee, and that was it. Best friends. Just like that. For 6 years, that's all we were. All I thought we were. Maya was the person I called when anything happened, good or bad. Failed exam? Maya. Amazing date with some guy I'd forget in a month? Maya. 3 in the morning panic attack about my future? Maya. Always Maya. She knew everything about me. The way I picked at my cuticles when I was nervous, how I could only write papers with terrible pop music blasting, that I ugly cried at every Pixar movie without exception. She'd seen me at my absolute worst, mascara running, drunk on cheap wine, ranting about my toxic ex-boyfriend, and she never flinched, never judged. Just handed me tissues and ordered pizza. I knew everything about her too. Or I thought I did. I knew she was brilliant and stubborn and had this way of tilting her head when she was really listening to you that made you feel like the only person in the world. I knew she drank her coffee black because she said adding milk was wasting time. I knew she was terrified of moths, but would catch spiders in cups to release them outside. I knew she'd been hurt before, badly, by a girlfriend in college who cheated on her, and after that, she built these walls. She'd date sometimes, casually, nothing serious. She always said she didn't believe in soulmates, in that one person who completes you. She said it was statistically improbable and emotionally manipulative, this idea that you're incomplete without someone else. I agreed with her. I did. I'd had relationships, mostly with men, a couple with women, and none of them felt like that earth-shattering thing people described. They felt nice, comfortable. And then they ended, and I felt sad for a while, and then I moved on. My longest relationship was 2 years with a guy named Derek, who was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. That's exactly how I described him to Maya once, and she laughed so hard she snorted wine out of her nose. We broke up mutually, amicably, because neither of us could think of a good reason to keep going. After Derek, I wasn't really looking. I was 27, focused on my graphic design career, happy with my life. I had Maya. I had other friends. I had my tiny apartment with the plants I somehow kept alive, and the cat I'd rescued, who only liked me when I was holding food. I was content. That's what I told myself. Content. The shift started so slowly I didn't even notice it at first. Little things. We'd always been physically comfortable with each other, the way close friends are. Hugs, linking arms, falling asleep on each other's shoulders during movie marathons. But somewhere around last spring, I started noticing the way my skin felt electric when she touched me. This hyper-awareness. Like every casual brush of her hand against mine was suddenly significant, loaded with meaning I couldn't quite name. I remember the first time I really noticed. We were at this outdoor market on a Sunday morning, one of those perfect spring days where the sun is warm, but the air is still cool. Maya was wearing this loose white linen shirt, and the light was catching in her dark hair, and she was laughing at something the vendor said. And I just stopped. Stopped walking. Stopped breathing for a second. I stood there watching her, and this thought floated through my mind. Unbidden and terrifying. She's beautiful. Not in the way I'd always known she was beautiful, objectively, the way you acknowledge your friend is attractive. But beautiful in a way that made my chest ache. Beautiful in a way that made me want to keep looking, to memorize the exact curve of her smile, the way her eyes crinkled at the corners. She turned and caught me staring. "What?" she asked, still smiling. "Do I have something on my face?" "No," I managed, just spacing out. I told myself it was nothing, a weird moment. Everyone thinks their best friend is beautiful sometimes, right? That doesn't mean anything. But then, it kept happening. I'd catch myself watching her when she wasn't looking, noticing things I'd somehow never noticed before, or maybe I had noticed, but never let myself think about. The way she bit her lower lip when she was concentrating, the little satisfied sound she made when she ate something delicious, how she always smelled like this combination of her jasmine shampoo and something else, something just her. And the dreams started. God, the dreams. I'd wake up with my heart racing, fragments of images I couldn't quite hold on to but that left me feeling flushed and confused and guilty. In the dreams, we weren't just friends. We were more. We were everything. And the worst part, the part that scared me most, was how right it felt. How natural. Like my subconscious was trying to tell me something my conscious mind refused to acknowledge. I tried to create distance. Not obvious distance, because how do you explain that to your best friend? But I stopped initiating our usual movie nights, made excuses when she invited me over, threw myself into work, into dating apps, swiping right on anyone who seemed remotely interesting. I went on 3 dates in 2 weeks, all disasters. One guy talked about his ex the entire time. One woman was lovely, but there was zero chemistry, and I spent the whole date feeling guilty that I was thinking about Maya. The third date I left early, faking a headache, because the person across from me wasn't who I wanted to be with. Maya noticed. Of course she noticed. She always noticed everything. She showed up at my apartment on a Thursday night without warning. I opened the door and there she was, holding a bag of Thai food from our favorite place, and wearing this expression I couldn't read. Hurt, maybe. Confused. Determined. "Okay," she said, pushing past me into my apartment. "What's going on? What do you mean?" I tried to sound casual, but my voice came out wrong. Too high, too defensive. "You've been weird for weeks, avoiding me. And don't say you haven't because I've been counting. We've seen each other twice in 3 weeks. That's not us. So either I did something to upset you, in which case I need you to tell me so I can fix it, or something else is going on, in which case I need you to tell me so I can help. Those are the options. Pick one." She set the food down on my counter, crossed her arms, and waited. She was wearing jeans and an old band t-shirt, her hair pulled back in a messy bun, and she looked tired. I'd done that. I'd made her tired and worried and confused, and the guilt crashed over me in a wave. "You didn't do anything wrong," I said quietly. "Then what?" I couldn't look at her. I stared at my hands, at the chipped purple nail polish I'd been meaning to remove for days. "I can't tell you." "Why not?" Her voice was softer now, concerned. She moved closer. "We tell each other everything. That's us. That's who we are. Not this." My throat felt tight. "I can't tell you this." "Why?" She was right in front of me now. I could smell her shampoo. "Is it that bad?" I laughed, but it came out choked. "I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Try me." I finally looked up at her. Her dark eyes were searching my face, worried and warm and so familiar. This was Maya. My Maya. My best friend in the entire world. The person who knew me better than anyone. And I was about to risk all of it because I couldn't keep my feelings in check like a rational adult. "I've been having these thoughts," I started, then stopped. "How do you say this? How do you put into words something you barely understand yourself? About you. About us." Her expression didn't change. "What kind of thoughts?" "The kind that friends aren't supposed to have." My heart was hammering so hard I thought she might be able to hear it. The kind that could ruin everything. Silence. She was so still, just watching me. I couldn't breathe. This was it. This was where I lost her. Where she got uncomfortable and backed away, and our friendship became this awkward thing we'd eventually let fade because it was too weird to maintain. "Tell me," she said finally. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Maya, I can't. Tell me." Something in her tone made me brave. Or stupid. Probably stupid. I took a shaky breath. "I think I'm in love with you." "No, I know I'm in love with you. I have been for months, maybe longer. I don't know. And I've tried to stop. I've tried to make it go away, because you're my best friend and I can't lose you. And you don't believe in soulmates or big romantic love or any of that. And I know you just see me as a friend, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen." The words tumbled out in a rush, tripping over each other. When I finally stopped talking, the silence that followed was deafening. I couldn't look at her. Couldn't bear to see the discomfort or pity or whatever was on her face. "Look at me," she said. I shook my head. "Please." I forced myself to meet her eyes, and what I saw there wasn't what I expected. She wasn't backing away. She wasn't uncomfortable. She looked stunned, yes, but also something else. Something that made hope flutter dangerously in my chest. "You really don't know?" she asked. "Know what?" "I thought you knew. I thought you had to know, and you just weren't interested, and that's why you never said anything." She laughed, but it sounded shaky. "I've been in love with you since sophomore year of college." The world stopped. Actually stopped. What? Sophomore year. We were studying for finals in the library, and you fell asleep on my shoulder. And I just sat there for 2 hours, not moving, because I didn't want to wake you up. And I realized I'd sit there forever if you needed me to. That I'd do anything for you. That I was completely gone for you. She ran a hand through her hair, dislodging the bun. I told myself I'd get over it. That it was just a crush. You were dating guys. Mostly. And you never seemed to see me as anything but your friend. So I learned to live with it. I dated other people. I tried to move on. But it was always you. It's always been you. I couldn't speak. Couldn't process. My brain had short-circuited somewhere around sophomore year. "I know I said I don't believe in soulmates," she continued. "And I don't. Not really. I think that whole idea that there's one perfect person out there for you and you're incomplete without them is toxic and unrealistic." She stepped closer. "But I do believe in this. In choosing someone every day. In knowing someone so completely that they feel like home. And you're my home. You've been my home for 6 years. I just never thought I could tell you." "Why didn't you?" My voice came out as a whisper. "Same reason you didn't. Scared. Terrified of losing you. You're the best thing in my life. The thought of making things weird, of you pulling away." She shook her head. "I couldn't risk it. I've been pulling away for weeks. I know. It was killing me. I thought maybe you'd figured it out somehow, how I felt. And you were trying to let me down easy." We stood there, inches apart, years of unspoken feelings hanging in the air between us. My hands were shaking. Everything was shaking. "So what now?" I asked. She reached out slowly, giving me time to pull away. I didn't. Her hand cupped my cheek, warm and solid and real. "Now I'd really like to kiss you, if that's okay." I nodded. Couldn't form words. She leaned in, and the first brush of her lips against mine was soft, tentative, asking a question. I answered by pressing closer, my hands finding her waist, pulling her against me. The kiss deepened, and it was like nothing I'd ever felt before. Like coming home and jumping off a cliff at the same time, safe and terrifying and absolutely right. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. She rested her forehead against mine. I've wanted to do that for so long. Me too. Well, not for as long as you, apparently. You win. She laughed, and the sound filled my chest with warmth. It's not a competition. If it was, you'd still win. You're competitive about everything. Fair point. She kissed me again, softer this time, sweeter. So we're doing this? Really doing this? I want to. God, I want to. But I'm scared. Me too. She pulled back enough to look at me properly. We could ruin everything. This could crash and burn, and we could lose the friendship. Or, I said, taking her hand, lacing our fingers together. It could be amazing. It could be everything. You think so? I think we've been each other's person for 6 years already. We know each other better than anyone. We've seen each other at our worst and stuck around. That's a pretty good foundation. She smiled, that full, bright smile that made my heart skip. When did you become the optimistic one? When I realized I might actually get to keep you, not just as my best friend, as everything. We ordered the Thai food eventually, though it was cold by the time we got to it. We sat on my couch, pressed together from shoulder to knee, talking for hours. About when we first realized. About all the moments we'd almost said something. About how many times we'd misread signals or talked ourselves out of it. About how scared we both were, but how the thought of not trying was scarier. I still don't believe in soulmates, Maya said, her head on my shoulder. Not in the mystical, destined, written in the stars way. But, I prompted, but I believe in us. I believe in 6 years of friendship and trust and choosing each other over and over. I believe that's stronger than any destiny, because it's real. It's built on actual history, not some cosmic coincidence. So we're not soulmates. No. She lifted her head to look at me. We're better. We're best friends who fell in love. We're two people who chose each other with full knowledge of exactly who the other person is, flaws and all. That's more powerful than fate. I kissed her because I could now, because she was mine and I was hers, and we'd been each other's all along, just too scared to see it. I love you. I love you too. She settled back against me. I'm still terrified though. Same, but we'll figure it out. We always do. Together? Together. That was 4 months ago. We're still figuring it out. It's not always easy. Transitioning from best friends to girlfriends meant navigating new territory, learning each other in different ways. We had to tell our other friends, our families. We had to figure out boundaries and expectations and all the things that come with a romantic relationship. Some days it's scary. Some days I wake up anxious that we made a mistake, that we risked too much. But then Maya will smile at me over morning coffee, or reach for my hand while we're walking, or kiss me goodbye like it's the most natural thing in the world. And I know. This is right. This is us. We didn't find each other by fate or destiny or some cosmic design. We built this, brick by brick, over 6 years of friendship and trust and showing up for each other. And now we're building something new on that foundation. Something that feels like home and adventure all at once. Maya still doesn't believe in soulmates. Neither do I. But I believe in us. In choosing each other every single day. In being best friends and lovers and partners and everything in between. Maybe that's better than soulmates anyway. Maybe the love you choose, with full knowledge and intention, is stronger than any destiny. Or maybe I'm just hopelessly in love with my best friend, and she loves me back. And that's more than enough.